if you call new triangle, it's going to allocate enough room in memory to hold all 4 of these values. And if you call new rect, it's going to allocate enough space in memory to hold all 3 of these values. And because triangle extends shape, you automatically get this stuff. Because rect extends shape, you automatically get that stuff. Is this making sense for you? Okay. Why? Why? Who added this to Java and why? And how is that useful? Well, it turns out a lot of times you want to make a new thing, but you don't want to have to do it all from scratch. Imagine you were making a video game and somebody had already written the code to enable the thing to move and to have a picture and a little AI. But you wanted a turtle and a Goomba and a spiky turtle and a helmet guy, and they all pretty much behave the same, but they all have different pictures. Can you see that you might extend maybe there's a bad guy class. And if you extend the bad guy with turtle and Goomba and helmet guy and spiky turtle, you can make a whole bunch of different classes that even behave in their own way, but most of what they do extends what was written before. That's the inspiration behind it, and now we have to deal with this new concept. So here we are. Triangle extend shape, rect extend shape. Let's give shape a constructor. Type is equal to not yet set. How about that? And then in my rect constructor, I'll say type is equal to rectangle. And in my triangle constructor, which I don't even have yet, I'll say type is equal to triangle. And now I'll build, and notice there are no build errors, even though I'm using this variable named type, which you don't even see there. Where did type come from? Yeah, I did indeed. Okay. Control Z is a useful thing, and let me go through it. I made a class named shape. What did I do next? I backed some stuff out. I gave my shapes a string named type. This is a member variable that all shapes are going to have. Okay. I added a constructor to my shape. And for giggles and wiggles, I initialized this member variable. You don't always have to initialize your member variables here because I'm also initializing it again in my rect and triangle. I'll show you that in a minute. But here I've created a member variable and initialized it. You with me so far? Okay. Here, my rect constructor is going to also initialize its type because rects have types because they extend shapes. All rects are shapes, therefore all rects have whatever rects have plus what shapes have. Let me try to understand. The question is, why don't I put this thing as a member of rect? Is that the question? Yeah. Okay. One could. So I could just put a string name type right here in my rect class. But I'm going to put it in my shape class instead because I can.
And then it will automatically apply to rectangle and triangle.
Yeah, by putting it in this one place, I've given it to 2 classes.
So, but under
why initialize it right here?
in class rect.
Okay, if I don't initialize it here, at this moment, when the code reaches this line,
Okay,
the computer reaches this line.
like line 31.
Okay.
Not put it on line 31.
Oh, why not put a string type right here? Is that the question?
No,
Why not put type equals rectangle?
do not do that.
Ah. I'm not 100% certain you can't. Let's see. Nope, you can't. Error identifier expected. So, yeah, if I declare a type here, Now I'm declaring a member variable, and this you can do. But if I do this, it only applies to the rect class. Anything I do here applies to all shapes.
As long as you put extend shape on it.
Yes. Now, so imagine in your heads, we're not going to do this. Imagine there's a polygon and a heptagon and a paragon and a polygon and a flocagon and whatever else kind of gons there are, and they all extend shape. So you've got this massive geometry library, and then you realize to yourself, gee, I wish all shapes had a color. Now they do. Whereas you wouldn't have to go add a color to rectangle and triangle and heptagon and octagon and dodecahedron. Yeah.
Like, you're still doing it.
You're right. You are. And at least so far, nothing has been purchased by doing this. So in what I have shown you, there's not a great reason to be putting it in shape. I'm just saying you can at this point. There are some great reasons to do it, and I'm really trying to get there, but we got to get there because we're not there yet. This is valid code. It will compile and it will execute and it will do something that confuses me, but you can do that. The reason I don't think that makes sense is because area is an operation. It's a method. This is something you do, and you're saying that now it has become an area. I guess that's true. If I go and drink a lot, I become a drunk, don't I? Therefore, in a sense, because you computed area, this now is an area. If you like that. This is there because I'm about to show you the order in which things are called. Yeah, this is me saying the shape class doesn't really know what it is, right? I mean, if I gave you a shape, suppose I told you there exists a shape. Is it a triangle or a rectangle?
You don't know.
You don't know. Suppose I said, I have a rectangle. Is it a shape?
Yes.
You do know. Okay, so if I gave you suppose I have a variable named s. What variables do is they refer to objects. S might refer to this one, or it might refer to this one. And it can refer to either of them because they're both shapes. It can't refer to the number 9 because 9 is not a shape, 9 is an integer. But because they're both shapes, this variable can refer to either one. And so you can now treat them like they're the same thing, because they are the same thing, at least in this portion of them. So anything you can do to a shape, you can do to a triangle or a rect, because triangles are shapes, and so are rects. And then the next step is to prove that. So let me walk through the whys. I created a class shape. Why? Because I wanted there to be something common between rectangles and triangles. It just makes sense to me. Rectangles and triangles have something in common. It's not the number of corners, but it's their existence as a shape. Therefore, a shape exists for the sole purpose of being the commonality between rectangles and triangles. Okay with that? Okay. I decided shapes have a type. Why? Because I wanted to do that. I wanted something for them to have in common. Here's a constructor, and here I could initialize my member variables, but I don't know how to initialize it, so I did something general. Here I can initialize it, so I did it more specifically. I don't want to declare a local variable. I just want to use type, because this will initialize my actual member type. Okay, same with triangle. Here I'm initializing my type. That's what I have done here. Do you feel okay? Any more questions? Okay. So far, this is not a great, powerful thing that's going to give you all kinds of new abilities yet. But if you'll bear with me, we're going to do a little bit more with it, and it will start turning into more programming capabilities soon. Good enough? Okay. Here we are, step 39. I remember a variable called type. In your rect class, initialize it. We did that. Add some print statements to demonstrate that you can print the types of some shape objects. Okay. Let's make a triangle here. Triangle t equals new triangle. System.out.print. The type of t is system.out.print t dot type. What do these two lines of code do? This one prints the type of t is. This one is going to say t, which is a triangle, correct? T dot type is what? It's that string that's in the type class. It's the shape class, excuse me. And because triangle is a shape, it's going to print the whatever is in the type of the triangle. I want to do the same thing with R and R2D2. And what output do you expect from this code? Do you not expect it to say type of T is a triangle, type of R is a rect, and type of R2D3 is a rect? The type of T is triangle, the type of R is rectangle, the type of R2D2 is rectangle. Okay. We have just demonstrated a new ability. This new thing that we have learned is extends. What does extends do? It means you can create classes that actually do what other classes do without having to do a lot of work. I never actually completed triangle. I kind of built its structure and I didn't make it do anything. So right now triangle is, it's an incomplete class. Yeah, it occupies enough memory to hold 3 points, which is 6 values right now. Okay. Somebody asked me to scroll down to where I typed. I don't know where that is. Oh, you mean right here? Okay, right there. All right. And cannot find symbol T. And you have a line number, right? Yeah, and you have a line number where it cannot find the symbol? I'm guessing it's this line right here on 84. Okay, so it can't find T right here. If you look up a little bit, did you have this line that said triangle T? Okay, so if you use a variable, it's always a reference to the declaration of that variable.